All right, welcome back to Project F.O.G, everybody. So glad to have you here. And as you can see, we are missing somebody again. Mr. Robbie Vapes. He's not going to be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, he's a little under the weather, or a lot under the weather. So, all right, welcome back to Project God F.O.G, damn it, why do I do that shit?
Hank, you left your sound on.
Yeah. It's off now. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Hank. I have a YouTube channel, Hank Vapes, and I do all kinds of vaping review shit. And tonight, I'm vaping on my Sigelei 75 with my last little bit of Angry Amish custard. Need to get some more in the Goliath version 2. And as soon as I wick this up, I'll have my homemade strawberry and cream on Sigelei 150 temp control. Billy?
What's up? I'm that motherfucking heathen in the house, and I'm vaping on all kind of shit as usual. I just wicked up this fucking Trigger RDA last night. It's a triple coil, owns out to 0.15. I got it on the Rider RDA, both from Unique Vapor Innovations, and this thing's hitting like a fucking beast. And what do I got in there? I got some Snap e-liquid. What the fuck is that? I don't know. The Kiwi Strawberry Snapple Snap e-liquid. Very good. There it goes. This shit. Then I got the X Cube 2 with the Morph tank and a titanium Delta 2 coil in there with the Milk 2, which is fucking delicious. I got the Lycan RDA on the Mech Ray from Unique Vapor with some Sutro from Crystal Vapors. This guy, Sigelei, with the VCT Pro with some Chewy from Telios. I got two more. The SMY Mini with the Aromizer RDTA with Jimmy the Juice Man Strawberry Astronaut, very delicious. And then last, I got the Venti from Wismec with some Philip Rock Signature Series, which is slamming. Yeah, that's what I'm vaping on.
So you like that Telios lines, don't you?
Oh yeah, Telios is amazing.
So, have you had the Experiment 1?
Haven't had it yet.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
I heard, and it's like a corn type of flavor.
It tastes like corn. Tastes like fucking corn. There's a guy at one of my shops here, had it, and he's like, dude, you got to try this. I'm looking at him like, that's going to be disgusting. You know, that's going to taste like shit.
Yeah. And
it just tastes like sweet corn. And not in a gross way. It was very almost refreshing. You know, I was like, wow, that's some good shit. So as soon as I went home, I ordered a bottle. It should be here soon.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I might have to check that out. Well, I will be checking it out. But I heard it tastes kind of like Corn Pops, the cereal.
Really? See, to me, it just tastes like corn. Like just cooked sweet corn.
I'll tell you what, building on this Trigger RDA, man, it was a pain in the balls because it's kind of like vertical almost, like it's, yeah. And then the wicket was a pain in the ass, but it's well worth it. The only thing is the drip tip gets so hot and you can't change the drip tip out. That really sucks. Next time I'll have to build lower build higher because it just gets way too hot. Way too hot. So the topic for today was why do YouTube reviews? So why do you do YouTube reviews, Hank?
The main reason that I do YouTube reviews is because I enjoy doing them. I love fiddling with vape gear. I love vaping. You know, it's one of my passions, one of my two main passions in life. And why not? You know, that's the biggest reason. I enjoy doing it. But I do want to be informative. I want to help people. It's always been in my nature to help people with anything, really, anything that I can. And so why not? I enjoy vaping enough, and I'm knowledgeable enough about everything that why not share my thoughts on stuff, and maybe I can help somebody make an informed decision when they want to purchase something.
Cool.
That's pretty simple for me. It's a pretty simple explanation. What about you?
I bring this topic up because I seen Big Lou had a video on last night about, you know, why he got into reviewing and how he grew his channel organically, and how he actually didn't monetize none of his videos, which to me I think is to each their own, but I think it's dumb. Why not? You know, you're doing it. Why not make a little bit of cash? I mean, I made a whopping $300 so far, you know, but still, it's something. It's something, you know, and as you grow, the more you're going to make. So why not do it? I just don't understand that. But it was never about that. It was never about making money. No. But anyway,
you've made a lot more than I have.
Yeah, I put a shit ton of videos.
I haven't even got the $100 mark yet, so I haven't even received a check.
I didn't get the check yet. I mean, it's sitting in there. I was going to wait till it hit like 500.
Oh.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. The reason I got into it is because, all right, I was buying a lot of shit. I was watching reviews and I started getting a lot of shit. And I had a ton of shit to show, and I had nobody to talk to. I didn't know any vapors, and I'm like, who the fuck do I show this shit to? You know, like, I want to talk about this shit, you know? So, as you all may or may not know, I talked to Mike Vapes. Mike kind of told me, you know, because I was doing product reviews, like, written online on the old Vapin site. And he was like, dude, just do a video, you know? And I did a video, and it just shot off from there. And that was initially why I did it. And then Lou was talking about how he gets a lot of people saying, yo, man, how do you get all this free shit? How can I start reviewing? And people think it's just that easy, where you just start reviewing and you're going to get free shit. And it doesn't work like that way.
No.
And I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and say it's never been in the back of my head like when I started, oh, I'll get free shit. Of course it has. I mean, and you know, initially it was pretty, I couldn't wait for somebody to send me something, you know, just because I thought that was cool.
That's almost like an I made it moment.
Yeah, yeah, right. You know, but it was never about, oh, I can't wait getting free shit, because at the time, I was always buying my shit anyway. I was just going to buy it no matter what. So, and I still do. If I like something, I'm going to buy it. Like, that's it. And even now, though, at the point, and at the point where I'm at, and I do get things sent, it's not as exciting, you know, to get, you know what I mean, at this point, because you go through so many things that it's definitely not about that anymore. No, we're not even anymore, but it's just definitely not about
it. Especially once you get to a point where you have enough products to use that.
Yeah. I can vape for the rest of my life.
You get anything else?
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know you still buy a good bit of the stuff that you review. I still buy probably at least half, if not more than half of the stuff that I review.
Yeah, at this point, I'm probably about 80. I would say I buy probably maybe 15 to 20% now at this point, where I'm at. But yeah, for a while it was at least 50%. Before that, it was like 80 to 90% of the stuff that I, you know, and up until 1,000 subscribers, like, I just bought everything, you know. So that's, but yeah, and also getting to help people. And people think that, you know, reviewers aren't into that. Yeah, I am in it to help. I really am. I want to help people. You know,
I do too.
That's why I did the whole smoking sponsorship program. Well, why else would I do a video? You know, a video like that, come out and like, because on my end, it's only taking my time. You know what I mean? It's taking my money. It's taking my gear that I have to give away, my time, my you know, it just takes a lot. It's not just easy to do something like that. So why would I volunteer to do something like that if I didn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely about helping. You know, I want to see people quit smoking, plain and simple. You know.
Absolutely. I just love helping people in general. It's always been in my nature, and especially when it comes to vaping. I mean, I don't push smokers to vaping. I kind of educate them a little bit on it, and if they want to try it, then I always tell them, you know, please feel free to ask me anything that you want to know. I'll help you out along the way. But if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. That's fine. And yeah, I don't know about you. I mean, I don't push people to do it.
I get you. And it, what was it? Oh, heavy metal vapors.
Yes.
What's up, man?
Not a damn thing. What's going on, fellas?
Welcome to Project F.O.G.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the invite.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, and what you're vaping on?
Okay. My name is Andrew, a.k.a. Heavy Metal Vapor. You can find me on youtube.com/Heavy Metal Vapor. I basically do reviews. I got a live show on Wednesday nights. My co-host Brett, Southern Gentleman, and I don't really want to call him a co-host because he's more. It's more like talking to a cousin of mine or something. But Mark Fagan's on there a lot. Yeah. So check me out. I appreciate the support. I am vaping on the XE box with the Royal Hunter, and in that I'm running some peanut butter and jelly sandwich from E-Liquid Luck and the Sigelli 150 with a tugboat and an Anarchist slam cap. And in that, I'm running Anarchist Juice's Bluish.
Bluish.
Bluish. It's like a blueberry strawberry lemonade. It's pretty damn good, and it's affordable. That's what I like about it.
I love some lemonade vapes, and especially like a strawberry lemonade. And so I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, it's not your typical lemonade vape. The problem I have with a lot of those lemonades is it really dries you out. You know, when you get you a good, nice, dense vape out of it, it really leaves you dry on the exhale, and this doesn't do that. I guess it's the blueberry that's in it that kind of smooths it all out.
I found that a lot of lemonades are tough. A lot of them are harsh, and it's hard to do it well, I think. But when it's done well, it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Huck Yeah from Suck My Juice is delicious.
Yeah.
I haven't tried any of that.
Yeah, that and YOLO. If you like custards, he did it very well. Did it really well.
Yeah, I've got the KLP from YOLO is probably one of my top 3 vapes of all times.
Okay.
The KLP. I just did a review of the full YOLO line not maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And here's a little thing about YOLO that I found that was very interesting. I met them at Vapin the Coast, which was the expo that was right here in my hometown. They had all of their diacetyl and acetylpropanol tests from Enthalpy on the table in front of their testers. So you couldn't get to their testers without going through their test results.
That's awesome.
And I applauded the owner to his face for that fact. I said, look, this is unbelievable. There's 80 vendors out here, and I have not. This is the only set of, testing that I've seen.
So Andrew, the topic of the show tonight was why do YouTube reviews? Why do you review? So you want to give us your take on why you started reviewing and why you still do it?
Well, it's kind of funny. It's like I sat down one day and I watched a review, and at the beginning of the review, the guy said, "This was sent to me for review for free from so and so." You know, and that the full disclosure I'm fine with. I know Hank does that in most of his reviews, and a lot of the other reviewers that get things sent to them. I can respect you for saying I didn't pay for this, but when I saw a review, and I'm not going to give out any names, but I saw a review of a mech that I had that I didn't like, that I was highly disappointed with, that I paid for with my own money, and he said it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I said, well, I have one of those, and I have a much different outlook on it. And I also have the authentic of the clone. It was a tugboat mech mod. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to break out my cell phone, and I'm going to do this. And I put it up, and I had 1,000 hits in the first week. You know, and it was like that. I've always been sort of an egotistical person. I've never been the most humble. I've since been humbled by, you know, the outpour of people appreciating what I do, the positive comments, the friends that I've made. But it was more or less the reason I started was just to see how far it could go. And now, you know, I'm pretty close to breaking 500, which to me is just, it's mind-boggling, you know. But I continue to do it because the technology is coming at such a fast pace that not everybody's going to be able to get to everything. You know, Grim Green's not going to be able to review everything. Ruby's not going to get to everything. Matt and Vanessa's not going to get to everything. So there's still, you know, the smaller channels are still going to get some of that trickle-down effect where, you know, you might not see a review of the Alliance 28.5 millimeter, but I have one, and I have a review coming out for it. So if you want to know exactly what the specs on that one as opposed to the 22 millimeter, it kind of gives you a different perspective. And a lot of people feel like that the big name reviewers, your Rip Trippers, your Grim Greens, stuff like that, that their opinions are sort of tainted. And that's, you know, I don't care who I piss off, I'm going to tell the truth, because if I can't tell the truth, then I might as well just stop, you know. And Hank does a fantastic job of pointing out, you know, if something's wrong or if something doesn't quite feel right. Mark Fagan, he's the same way. He's a good, I consider him a good friend, and I can take his reviews at face value, you know, because even though he's getting it for free, he doesn't care if he hurts the manufacturer's feelings, and that's the whole goal, you know. You can't give an honest review if you're not an honest person. And I'm not saying that the big name guys are not honest people. They're not dishonest in any way, but you know, when you admit that you're overloaded with shit, at that point I kind of take your opinion with a grain of salt. But I do that with everybody. It's not just, you know, I'm the kind of person, I learn by my mistakes, and I make a lot of them, especially, you know, when it comes to gear like this, that you have to fork out $100 for a mod to find out that it sucks.
I just got literally my last review just got put up an hour ago. This it was sent to me, and I fucking trashed it. It's a piece of shit.
That's a 517, isn't it?
571 RDA, yeah, or 5 whatever it's called. Piece of shit. Do not waste your fucking money, guys, please. It's horrible. Horrible trash.
I'm glad you just said that, because I was actually going to the vape shop today, and I got derailed because the weather outside was garbage. I was actually going to the vape shop to buy that today.
You don't want it, believe me. Look at that. I mean, and that's not when it's wet. Like, it's this. If you hold it sideways, it'll just fall off. The fan doesn't spin at all, and it's not that it's hard to build on, but there's no room to drop your wick in. It leaks like a fucking sieve. I mean, and even when you don't leak through the holes, it still builds up condensation where the fan is, and it still leaks from there. It's a piece of garbage. They've rusted it out, and everybody's selling it, so they're going to sell a lot. It's garbage.
Yeah, and that's sad. You know, you could take. I did a review on the Bale clone. Bale was made by El Diablo originally, and the clone I got, I paid $18 at a brick and mortar, and I'm telling you, outside of the tugboat, which is my favorite RDA of all time, The Bale clone was probably the best piece of hardware I've put my hands on in a long time. And the only thing that bugged me about it was that they used the El Cabron logo. If they had done anything, they could have put the sriracha chicken on there and called it the hot sauce, and they would have sold 1 billion of them because they were made impeccably. The airflow was perfect. The O-rings were beautiful. They spun, without anything. You could put them in there dry and they would spin. The tolerances were great, but they used somebody else's logo. I'm not a clone snob by any means. I own clones, but I think the Authentics coming down in price like they are, like this Royal Hunter right here, I don't know if you have one. This is a fantastic atomizer in my opinion. This is one of the best ones on the market right now, and you can get them for $35.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to buy a clone of that.
No.
Yeah, so here's something that's, I was talking about this in the juice box. My one local shop here, they will not buy anything authentic to sell. Nothing. And I asked why one day, and he said there's no room for profit. I said, okay, I get that. But they were buying Mutation X clones and Royal Hunter clones and Infinite CLT clones, shit that only costs $30 anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even sell somebody a clone of that?
I'm actually, I wasn't really going to discuss a whole lot of personal business on the air on my show or Mark's show or anything else, but now that you bring it up, I'm actually looking into opening a vape shop here locally because there's a niche in the market that I feel like I can, with my knowledge and the circle of friends that I have, yeah. I can pull from, and I can say, okay, well, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, and you're 100% right. You can go on Angel Cigs and buy Derringer clones for $4, and then sell them in your shop for $15, and you're making 2 times. You're making 200% markup, and you won't be able to stock them fast enough. But if you go to, if I call Jonathan Thomas and I say, hey, I want to get some tugboat boxes, some Anarchist slam caps, some regular tugboat slam caps, and he says, okay, I can get you, however many you want, but they're going to cost you, you're only going to have a 10% markup. You're right. There's no room for profit, especially when you have to think about who's going to walk into a shop and see a Tugboat V1 and a Tugboat V2 sitting side by side, and they're both $99 when you can go online and buy them and wait 2 days and get them for $45. It doesn't make monetary sense. It's not good. It's not good business posture to put yourself in that kind of position. So I mean, I can see where you're coming from with the not buying anything but clones. But when you're talking about a Mutation X or a Doge or something like that, just get the authentic. You're not going to make a shitload of profit, but if you get 25%, you're good. That's in a shop sense. That's not where your money's going to come from, anyways. Your money's not going to come from hardware. It's not going to come from selling, 1,000 ego batteries. It's going to come from your liquid. Period.
Let me introduce Mark, because Mark just stopped in. Welcome, Mark, to Project F.O.G. We're glad we can finally have you on the show. Our shows were on at the same time. So thank you for moving your show. I appreciate that.
Thanks for the invite. Yeah, I try to cut the show off like at 8:55. I'm like, all right, I got to sign off because Project F.O.G's coming on, so I don't want to tamper into their time zone. So I ended it like at 9:05 or something like that. I came right over here. Yeah, but what you were talking about, there's actually a vape kind of kiosk at the mall, and it's a really cool vape kiosk. They have every single clone under the sun. They carry all top shelf e-liquids, and all the clones he sells a majority of them are all from Angel Cigs, because I know those boxes, and he charges anywhere from $35 to $45 for an RDA that costs $5 to $10 on Angel Cigs, and I just cannot believe when I see people walk up to it and buy an RDA. I'm like, oh my God, why are because they don't know better, but still, I mean, the guy's just milking them, and it's horrible.
It's capitalism.
Yeah.
At its finest.
But I mean, I always go, like I can go into a vape shop and I can tell within like probably like 5 minutes if the owner or the people working there are either if they're in it for the money or if they're in it because they love to vape. You can normally tell like between like just right off the bat. And I love the shops to where they're like dedicated into vaping and they're not just in it for the money. I mean, of course, they have to make some kind of money, or else they wouldn't be doing it. But if they love vaping, then normally the shop is normally a cool place to hang out, and I support the shop. But the shops that are just kind of like just there to make money, I usually don't support them all that much.
Well, in my opinion, you can walk into a shop. I'm the same way. You can walk into a shop and you can tell, which around here the market's completely different from most places you go. Here we've got 9 shops that are within 45 miles of each other, and each one of them fills a certain niche. One of them is strictly they don't sell anything sub-ohm. They don't sell anything no premium lines of liquid. It's all house liquid, but it's for your beginners. And they have people in there, they have staff in there that are well trained with dealing with new customers, new people. And that business, their doors will never close, and I hope they never do, because they hold the biggest part of the industry in their hand. But you also have some shops around here that are strictly hobbyists. They don't sell clones. They don't sell house juice. They only have premium juice. They only have, they carry anarchist wire. They carry, these boutique handmade box mods and stuff like that. And you don't walk into that shop and spend $30. You walk in that shop and spend $300.
Yeah, well, it's a place for that. There's a place for that, and there's a place for the other shop you spoke about. You know what I mean? There is a place for all around, and there is a place for price gougers. I mean, there is. I mean, that's what makes, I guess, this country so great, because you're going to get that type. You're going to get people who are into hobbyist shops, like you were just talking about, and that's something that I may be interested, or Mark may be interested in. Then there's something that that just sells ego batteries and Nautiluses and stuff like that. That's geared towards the newer vapor.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, they have a place in the industry, I think.
Well, I mean, and to me, it's kind of hard on. It's kind of hard on a new vapor when they walk into the shop that only caters to the hobbyist. They walk in and they're like, "Holy hell, what is all of this stuff? Why is that guy?" Why does he look like there's a volcano about to explode out of his head? It can be disheartening. They're like, holy hell, I'm going to come in here and empty my bank account. Whereas you go to the other place that caters to new people, and they sit them down and say, okay, what's your budget? And we're going to work around that, because it's about getting you off of cigarettes. You went to the playground before you went to the classroom. You stepped into the wrong area. And unless you're going in with somebody, and I don't know everything there is to know about everything in this industry, but if you go into a shop with somebody like me, or any of us in this chat right now, you're gonna have a sense of comfortability just by knowing the person that's taking you into that shop.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go in just by yourself and you're like, well, hell, I want to quit smoking cigarettes, I heard this works, and you walk in and you got Mount Vesuvius over here blowing clouds out of his ass, I'm going to turn around and go back to the 7-Eleven and buy cigarettes. It's cheaper, it's easier. All I got to do is say, give me Marlboro Lights.
Well, that's when the shop owners got to turn around and say, well, this is, this shop is more geared towards blah blah. We don't really sell starter kits, and send them on their way, or send them to the shop that does. That's what they should do. Is it all the time? No, but
But the bad thing is, you have a lot of shops that'll look at it and say, "Oh, well, you don't need to start out there." They're not gonna, they're too egotistical. They're too, their competitive juices are flowing more. And instead of saying, well, I think you would probably be more suited if you run up here to this shop. Here's the directions. Here's the phone number. They're geared to what you're looking for. But, you know, if they feel like if they do that, they're going to lose that money. Well, you're not just going to lose that money. If you do it the right way, you're not going to make the sale right then. But when that person goes and buys an ego and they say, oh, well, hell, I'm going to go, you know, look on YouTube and see what this vaping thing's about, and they run across Hank or Heathen or, you know, any of us, and they say, oh, my God, I want to get into that. That looks like, you know, they're getting so much more satisfaction. The flavor's better. You know, this, and this. And then they say, well, shit, remember I walked into that shop, you know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 9 months ago, and that dude was blowing clouds like this. Let me go in there and see what's up with it. You know, then you automatically have a return customer who's coming in with some sort of knowledge about what they're getting into. They might be ready to spend that $300.
Was that a drip tip?
What's
That
that?
you had on your face, was that a drip tip?
No, it's a wax mustache.
Oh, okay.
He
They
instantly
have
grew
drip
a
tips like
mustache.
that, I think.
Yeah, I seen one like that.
So what?
Mark, before I actually got to get out of here in a few minutes. I got to wrap it up early for myself, but I'm glad you guys are on. But Mark, the topic of the show was why we got into reviewing. So you want to talk a little bit about that and why you started reviewing and why you continue to do it, and maybe what you get out of it?
When I started reviewing, I didn't have the intentions like to start like a huge YouTube channel and like do reviews. My first video, I think I threw up. I had my e-liquid on like a Lazy Susan, and I kind of just put it out there because it was a cool idea, and I wanted to show some people on ECF, and people kind of found it, and then. Like when I buy anything like electronics or anything, I always have to review it. Like I cannot buy anything unless I review it. So with vape gear, I was thinking about. I'm like, well, I have a lot of vape gear. Let's give it a try. And I just started reviewing, and the reviewing part was fun to do, but it got more enjoyable when people started to comment and ask questions, and I started to help people, with their questions, and that's where the enjoyment came from. So when how can I put this? So I mean, kind of the reason why I continued to do reviews was because I really enjoy helping people, and I wanted to keep the focus of my channel was to always comment on my videos, and all my subscribers, when they comment, I'm always there to comment right back at them, because one thing. It's not that I hate it, but I always hate it like when I watch a video and I ask so-and-so, I ask like the reviewer like, oh, where can I get this or something like that, and they just never responded. And I always hated that, and that was another main thing that I wanted to do in my videos was I always wanted to make sure that I always commented and asked questions, and then it just kind of took off from there, and then I kind of started a Facebook channel, and then people... not a Facebook channel, but a Facebook page, and then people just, sent me messages, and the helping aspect was, more enjoyable than anything. So, and what I get out of it, I just kind of get, I'm just kind of happy that I help people. That's pretty much what I get out of it, I mean, I get all the vape gear and this and that, but really, getting free stuff is more of a headache, than anything. People think, oh, you're a reviewer, you get all this free stuff, it's got to be so cool. No, it's not cool. It's really not cool. It's more of a headache than anything. It was probably a little bit more enjoyable back when I was buying my own stuff than it was when I got free stuff, because there wasn't like a demand from the vendor, to get the review up so quick. So, but the reason why I accept gear for review is just because you got to kind of be on top of the game, and you got to have the latest and greatest stuff, and of course, none of us can afford all that. So, but I mean, the reason why I do it is just I get satisfaction out of helping people, and I have no life. I don't leave my house, so my friends are my subscribers. So they're like my friends and family to me. So
Yeah,
I get enjoyment out of that.
I say that like, yeah, it is about helping. It's definitely about helping it. But we'd all be liars if we all didn't say that it's a great feeling when you get more subscribers in your channel. I can say personally, I know you know, personally, my channel has grown pretty fast. I'm approaching like 4,000 subscribers, and to me, it's astronomical from the emails that I get, like you're talking about, Mark, to the questions, the comments, the feedback. That's a humbling and surreal experience to have people talk to you that way, to actually look at you and ask you for advice, and you're being able to help. That's, you know, and anybody, I would have to say we'd all feel that way. You know, it's a good feeling, right, to have your channel growing.
Yeah, that's the most rewarding part of it. Like if I did all these reviews, and you know, if all the comments were just like, oh, cool, and this and that, and no one really had any questions or anything like that, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as I do than when people ask questions and ask how to do something, or I can do a how-to video. That's where like the most enjoyment comes from. And then, like I said, I connect with my audience, like my subscribers are my friends, so.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. Well, it's hard to keep up with all my subscribers, but I try to keep up with as many as possible. You know, that's where the enjoyment comes from, right? I mean, it's like I said, the vape gear thing is cool. It's always cool to get vape mail. Don't get me wrong, but I hate when people say, oh, you know, you get free stuff, but it's not even about the free stuff. Trust me, it's not.
Well, to add to that point, you know, mine is a small channel. I hadn't even crossed 500 yet, but the other day, it was probably a week or so ago, I was just having one of those days where it was like, you know, I felt like shit. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to do anything. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't know why. I just don't feel like doing anything, you know. And so I get an email from some guy that watches me, and I couldn't tell you his name now, but from some guy that watches me, and he was like, you know, I love your review style, this, that, and the other, and, you know, you're helping me weed my way through the garbage and find the good stuff. And that instantly turned my day around, and I thought, you know, at that point I was like, that was freaking cool. That was the first time I got an email from a subscriber that wasn't, here's my address, I won the giveaway, you know, something like that. And it was like, I actually helped somebody, and it's, Mark's right. It's a very humbling experience when somebody tells you, you know, your video helped me do X, Y, or Z, and it's awesome. You know, I thought it was just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, it really is. It really, honestly.
And like another reason, like another reason why I kind of wanted to get into reviews was I was watching a lot of reviews from like just random people. Like there was no one in particular. And they would always like give a product a good review and say, "Oh, this thing's awesome," and this and that. And I'd go out and buy it, and it sucked. And I'm like, "Oh, you know, why the hell did this guy say this thing was good when it sucked?" And I'm like, you know, it's hard to find honest, truthful reviewers out there. And that's another thing I wanted to bring to the table. And at the same time, I didn't want to, you know, just because vendors were sending me shit, I didn't want to get caught up in the whole, like, you know, I didn't want to become a vape whore and be like, oh, just because he's sending me something, I'm going to give it a good review. So I wanted to be all my reviews to be honest as hell. I didn't care who sent it, why they sent it, how much it cost. If it's a piece of shit, then I'll tell you it's a piece of shit. And then
do you know actually anybody out there, Mark, who actually does that? I mean, I couldn't actually. I don't know how somebody can get a product, right? Like, let me talk about this again. This 571. It's a piece of shit, right? I reviewed it, and how could I sit there vape on this, knowing this is a piece of shit? And say, yeah, this is so cool, and like, how I don't understand. Like, are there people out there that actually do that?
There's not. I mean, no one in particular, but I mean, I could always tell when I watch a review that they're trying to, you know, give it a positive review. You know, they're trying to be like.
They're trying to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, they're trying to be negative in a nice way, and to me, that's a vape whore. You know, because they're pretty much just kissing the vendor's ass so the vendor continues to send them shit. Because if a vendor, you know, most vendors, they'll send you something, and if you say it sucks, then more than likely that vendor's not going to send you shit ever again. And I've had quite a few vendors not send me shit ever again, never email me after I, you know, gave them a review. But a few vendors, I'm not trying to plug anyone, but like Element Vape, I give a lot of their products they sell a shit review, and they're really cool because they continue to say, okay, well, that's, you know, here's another product, no problem. And I respect people like that, you know, and like Herberto who makes the Hobo, I gave his version 3 RDA I gave it a complete thumbs down, and what did he do? He went back to the drawing board, he fixed the problem, and he sent me the updated version. He wasn't, butthurt about it and said, oh, yeah, screw this guy, So I really respect, and I respect people like that.
Yeah, that hobo fucking sucked, man. I mean,
Yeah,
not
the three
sucked,
sucked.
good, but it had that fucking threading problem. Oh,
Yeah.
it pisses me off.
Exactly, and he didn't get pissed about it when he seen my review, and he actually wrote me a letter when he sent the 3.1 out, and it said he appreciated my honesty, et cetera, and he was really, really cool about it. And I wish everybody was like that. Why they're not like that, I don't know, but yeah, it was really cool about that.
I think it has a lot to do with their ego, man. You sink so much of yourself into creating a product, and especially when you're dealing with American-made stuff. Chinese, they don't give a shit. They'll have something out next week. Like that 517. Everybody who gets their hands on it could give it a shit review. They wouldn't care. It'd never hurt their bottom line because they'll just pop up with a different name and put out some more of the same old shit. Like the Mutation X version 4. I hated it, and all I heard was good reviews, and I can't stand the damn thing. I gave it away, just because I don't like it. It did not work for me. I couldn't get it to vape worth a damn without leaking, and I'm just not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with something that I feel like, I spent $35 on this thing and it's garbage. So I'm going to tell you what my experience is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I don't care. That was my money. I could say whatever I want. If you send it to me for free, I'm not going to use Illuminati code. I'm not going to say, oh, the button's a little janky, it's kind of weak, and this, that. No, I'm saying this button sucks.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. Because I don't know how to articulate it any other way. I'm not a very well-educated, well-spoken person.
You said it, not me.
Well, guys, I got to get out of here, but let me just say it on this. I think there's a difference between getting products from vendors like a shop, and who sells multiple things from different manufacturers, than when you get something from a manufacturer. That's it for the most part, anyway. I think there's a big difference there because one's just selling the product, they're just getting something new in, and one actually made the products. It's their baby, all right? But with that being said, guys, I got to get out of here. I really appreciate you guys, stopping by and joining us. Mark and Andrew, thanks. You're welcome back anytime. So, I appreciate it. And
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, let me show you this before you run out, Heathen.
I know, dude. I fucking want that motherfucker. Dude, you see my backdrop, dude. It's all over the place.
That's why
my logo. Speaking of, Mark, I'm now on vapingswag.com. I got my shirt up. So.
Oh, yeah, cool. Awesome.
And it's a half.
Did you design it?
What's that?
Did you design it, or did you have him design it? Did you? Cool. Yeah, I gotta check it out.
It's half of the Jedi logo and half of the the Empire.
And I gotta check it out.
Right in the middle, it says Vapin Heathen, and then down below it says Heathen Alliance. So
that's cool.
So yeah, if anybody wants to pick it up, I make no profits off it, but I think it'd be cool if people wear my shirt. So if you want to pick it up, stop over to vapenswag.com. All right, well, that's a little shameless plug. With that being said, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you guys later.
See you, Billy.
Bye,
Later.
So, Mark, kind of back on the topic we were on with the saying something is shit if it is. Me and you both seemed like we were pretty disappointed with that Aeolus version 2.
Yeah. And it sucks so bad because it gives off such a damn good vape too.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I held back from reviewing it. Like, I wasn't going to review it, but then I felt kind of bad that the vendor sent it, and I'm like, okay, if I don't review it, they might be, they sent me it, they expect a review, but I didn't want to review it because I thought it was going to be just like the Hobo, where there was going to be version 3.1 like next week. I'm surprised that there's not an update out already for it, and I just know damn well there's going to be an update for it. And I told everyone, a damn good. Like, if you could pick it up for like $10, $20, and you're going to sit at home at your desk, it's an awesome vape because you can play with it all day and take care of it and baby it. But like going out or anything, like that same day after the review, I still had it built, and I said, oh, I'm going to take it with me to the mall. And I knew I shouldn't have taken it with me. Sure enough, same thing. Put it in my pocket, man. top cap just popped off. I stuck my hand in my pocket again, got my hand all full of e-liquid. I'm like, why did I take this piece of shit out? I did change the O-ring on it. Do I have it up here? I don't think I do. No, I changed the O-ring on it. Oh, here it is. And the top cap, it fixed the problem with the top cap. The top cap's nice and strong on there now, but still the main issue is the threaded deck, and it requires too much hassle.
Yeah, I had the version 1 and I loved it, absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. So I was really excited for the version 2, and it was disappointing. I tried doing the dental floss trick under the O-ring, and it didn't work for me. It made it way too tight. But even if it would work, especially if you're buying an authentic, you shouldn't have to fucking do that.
Nope, exactly. Like if it was like a $10 Angel Sigs RDA, then hell yeah, I'll be happy to mod it and put all kinds of shit on it to make it perfect. But for that price, for being authentic, I mean, it's a shame that they put that out. Yeah. And then another thing that kind of, I'm sorry, Andrew, but another thing that kind of bothered me was I noticed, I don't think I commented in the video about it, but I noticed the what are they called? Who makes that RDA again? Something.
Synthetic Cloud.
Synthetic Cloud. Yeah, there we go. They were on Reddit, and I'm not really on Reddit that much, but I came across a post where they went on Reddit and they kind of announced their RDA and they were answering questions about it. Few people asked if it was made in China or not, and it just totally blew off the question. They just looked right past it, didn't answer it whatsoever. And I couldn't find no information about it being made in the U.S. or China. And since they blew off the question completely, even I contacted them. I assumed it's made in China. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of pricey for being made in China. And yeah, I mean, and there's going to be a version 2.1. But the Saper RDA, that's an awesome RDA, but another one that suffers from the loose top cap issue.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate it when you put something in your pocket and it pops off.
Oh, it was fucking messy. And it when was it? The other day, yesterday, I got the Star Pro tank. Love it. I mean, it's this little knob thing here. I mean, it's it is what it is. But I always keep it closed. Had no issues. Went to dinner. Had it in my top shirt pocket, and like near the end of dinner, I'm like smelling I had my hand like this. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, why are my hands smell like this? And I'm thinking nothing of it. And when I get out and I have a vape, my Star tank is bone dry, and it was filled up when I went in. It's because the little knob right here accidentally turned when I was moving around and drained the entire tank, and my shirt was soaked with e-liquid. And I'm like, oh my god. And I was loving it. And I'm just, when I review it, I'm going to give it like a glowing review. But I think that little thing is going to give it kind of a thumbs down because that's, I don't know. Do you have a Star Pro by chance?
I don't.
You don't? Yeah, it's this little knob right here. You just, if you turn it to the right, it kind of opens it up and lets air go through. But if you leave it open, it's going to flood out the air holes. So you got to make sure you turn it to the left and it stays closed. But if you move it around or something like that, it will accidentally open up on you, and you're gonna have a mess on your hands.
Yeah, Robbie, the other guy that's on our show that has been out the past 3 weeks, he hated it.
Yeah.
He was like, I fucking love this tank, but this drip tip makes it a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Like if they got rid of that, it'd be perfect. But that little thing right there is gonna kill it completely. So do you have anything new and exciting coming up, out of curiosity?
Nothing too exciting, I don't think. Got the iStick 100 watt coming up.
How you liking that?
I'm liking it, actually. Did you get the black one or the silver one? I got the silver one. I actually bought it from a shop, and they didn't have the black in it. That kind of, I almost wish I would have held off because all of my iSticks are black. And I just would like to keep that same theme going, I guess. But
yeah, the black one just looks on the top and the bottom. This looks way better. Doesn't have that chrome finish to it.
Yeah, but I just picked up the silver, and of course, I think I got that maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and tomorrow the black ones will be in stock.
Oh damn! Can I trade this real quick?
Yeah, damn it.
That's how it works.
Didn't you review what did you review, the Goblin, or I could have swore you reviewed
Yeah, Goblin Mini.
Yeah, I got a Goblin Mini this past weekend.
And then the Goliath V2.
Yeah, I didn't watch a review for it yet. I'm gonna watch it, but this thing is like just the coolest little. It's like the coolest little RT I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That Goblin Mini looks so sexy, man.
I know it looks awesome.
It's sexy as hell.
On a mech mod, it just looks so cool. On a hybrid, it looks even awesome, more awesome.
I like it on that particular mod you got it on.
You just like this particular mod in general. I could put a sub tank on here and you'd like it.
Dude, you could put a dog turd on the end of that thing and I'd like it. I dig it though. I've got one sitting right here and I keep looking at it. I'm like, oh, I want to mod that jackass out so bad, dude.
I just feel like an idiot because, well, I don't know shit about guns. I know nothing about guns, and I didn't know it was a clip from a, what is it exactly, Andrew?
AR.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea that's what it was.
It's not a clip. It's a magazine, Mark.
Magazine. Okay. Well, see, I don't know shit about guns, but when I found out, I showed Andrew. He's like, "Holy shit, man!" And he told me what it was. I'm like, "Seriously?"
Yeah.
I feel stupid.
Well, you were asking how, saying
Yeah.
It felt so comfortable, and I was like, yeah, it's designed like that.
Because you hold it by the magazine or what, or
no, it's just like if you're wearing like a battle vest or something, you always carry your mags with the base plate up. That way, if you ever have to go in, you can go in behind them, pull it out, and reload. So they're meant for you to have that form factor on your hand automatically, because that's just the most natural way to reload anyhow. So.
Oh, I remember what it was. I had this thing. I was messing with it for like 15 minutes. I could not figure out how to get the battery door open.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, if it's just like this magazine, you got to do it like this. And sure enough, it's the same way.
All you do, push that bottom piece in.
That's exactly how you put the batteries in this thing. And I took me like 15 minutes and asking him, and he showed me immediately within that.
5 seconds.
So yeah, this thing is replicated right off of it.
Does it have what, Hank?
Does it have that same big ass spring in it for your battery?
No, it's got 2 little copper springs.
Gotcha.
No, this one's got 2 big old jumbo springs actually.
It looks like it would be a little bit difficult to put your batteries in there.
It's really difficult to put your batteries in it. Oh, I can't even open this damn thing. It's hard to even open.
But I mean, for the price, man, I mean, somebody like me, you don't even have to. It doesn't even have to work that well for somebody like me. A gun enthusiast is going to go out and buy one just to have one. Am I going to buy the gang mod? No, because that thing looks stupid.
Yeah, that thing is a joke. Yeah, you slide the cover off like you said, and then this is where it gets cheap. You kind of pull this cover back. You don't want to pull it too much because it has a micro USB port on it, and the wire is attached to that little bottom battery door. So it kind of just dangles like that. And then you slide your batteries in, you push this back up in there, and then you slide the bottom piece on.
Oh, that's weak.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheap, but once you get the batteries in, it's solid as hell. And if you never want to take the batteries out, you can just charge it over USB. But when I got it, the first thing that kind of that struck me was like how durable this thing seems. So when I do the review for it, I'm going to take this thing outside and I'm going to start whipping it down the street. And I'm going to throw it around and throw it up against the wall and shit. And I want to see if it actually survives like a beatdown, because this thing seems like it will survive a beatdown.
Oh yeah, I mean they're military grade magazines, and if they're using the same thing that PMag uses, you ain't gonna break it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to actually kind of break it during the review. See how it holds up.
You're gonna have to get out a sledgehammer.
You're up close first.
Yeah, no, ain't it?
Yeah.
I'll be sure to do that. But yeah, getting the batteries in is a real bitch.
I gotta get some new cotton on this thing. Seems like my cotton is just getting nasty.
So did you guys start the show at 9?
Couple minutes after, yeah. Yeah, we're usually like 3 or 4 minutes behind.
Oh, okay.
Because we always get on, early and we start talking about shit. And
Forget about the time.
I looked down and it was like 10:03, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm still rebuilding this RDA."
I got a text, like when I gave my number out, people started texting me questions, and then after the show, I had 2 text messages. They're like, "What show's on next? What show are you talking about?" And I told you like the show like 3 times. I'm like, Project F.O.G.
Yeah, it looks like you've brought us a couple more viewers. I think this is the most we've ever had. So
Yeah, I was sure to plug it.
That's awesome. Appreciate that. And I do want to thank you again. I know I've said it in comments and on Facebook, but I haven't told you in person. I do want to thank you for changing your show, even though you didn't have to do that.
Oh, no, I know. But like I said, like I didn't know about you guys, and I watch you guys. I watch religiously, but I watch you guys, and now that I'm on Vaporium and you guys are on there, it's like it seemed like the only courtesy thing to do is.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like a jackass. Like, I'm on the same time they are. You got to choose.
Yeah. I'm glad you're over there at Vaporium. You seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah, the G spot. I don't really post all. I mean, I post every now and then, but the G spot's always where I'm at. I'm always.
Oh yeah. My wife gets so pissed off at me because she came in here last night and she was like, "It is 2 a.m. Go to bed. You are so loud I can't sleep."
And then you went to bed while you were on the show or while you were on the hangout.
Yeah.
You brought your phone to the bed.
Mm-hmm. Why not? I want to give Raina a shout out because she had a very good idea with that little community, man. I have met some of the coolest people you'll ever meet on Vaporium.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
In the whole, all the years I've only forum I've ever belonged to was like ECF and I think the Vaping Underground. But of all the years I've hung out on vape forums and shit like that, I've never been to a place that was more friendly than Vaporium. Just for the week I've been there, and it's not just because I do reviews and shit, but everyone is just so cool, and it's not even people you think you would click with.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Juicy, and then you got Andrew, 2 guys you would never think would talk together, and they joke around all the time.
Well, that's the beauty of this community. I never had anything to talk about with somebody who smoked Marlboro Lights. I was never like, "Oh, did you see they got the new packs out now? Man, those warning labels are badass." It's just it's stupid to even think something just me saying that makes me want to laugh. But this, it's like
going to a cigarette convention.
Yeah, exactly. Check out the new Marlboro E-Class. They do temperature control. No, it doesn't work like that.
It's airflow.
Yeah. Temperature is between 7,000 and 8,000 degrees.
There you go, though. I mean, if you want to make $1 million, go design a adjustable airflow cigarette.
Oh my God, you'd sell 1 million of them. Well, it's like when the whole legalize it movement was going around. My cousin was all about it. He was like, "Oh my God, I want to get in. I'm gonna move to Colorado and go to California." I said, "Dude, I tell you what. If you can figure out how to roll them and sell them in a pack like cigarettes, you'd be a billionaire immediately." Oh, I don't have to do anything. I can just grab them and go. Nice. Which I'm not a pothead, but
I'm not a pothead.
I mean, I'm not. I don't even drink anymore, man. I'm like a fucking homebody.
I don't either. I'm such a boring person now.
No, dude.
My wife probably wants to disown me.
We went out last night because I don't drink much anymore either. And I had maybe 5 or 6 beers in, and I was like, "Man, I'm starting to feel like shit."
Yeah, I saw you.
I'm not even hungover yet. I just feel like shit now.
I knew you were out somewhere because of the checkerboard dance floor.
Yeah.
I was like, Hank's gonna wind up having a good night tonight.
Yeah.
It takes me too long to recuperate from a hangover now that I'm getting older. Normally I just slam a bottle of Gatorade the next day and take an aspirin and I'm good to go. But now it's 2 or 3 days in order to get over a hangover, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
It
is rough. it kind of slowed down for me when I mean I was in a band and playing shows, 2 or 3 shows every weekend, and it's just like you never buy drinks, but you get drunker than you've ever been in your life. I mean, you're drunker than a freshman at a frat house. I mean, it's bad, you know. And my liver finally was like, dude, you better take a break or I'm gonna take a break. And I guarantee you, you don't want me to take a break.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I drank, like, I didn't drink to, like, you know, drink or for the taste. I drank to get fucking wasted because I like to get wasted.
Yeah.
So I could never just sit down and like, hey, man, want to have a beer? I'm like, no, I'll have 24 beers, though.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's how I had to slow it down.
we'll kill two bottles of Jack while we're sitting here playing cards.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I was. Seems like you and I are a lot more alike than we think there, Fagan.
I know.
That's scary.
It is. And then just one day, like, it's not like I didn't quit drinking. I just, you know, like, I'll still have a beer in this now and then, but I don't get drunk anymore because it just, I don't know, it takes a toll on my body, man. Too many years of drinking, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to it. If I, you know, me and my wife were at Target yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on Trucker Show tonight. Maybe I'll get a 6-pack and get shit hammered. Then we'll really have some fun on that show. And I stood there looking, and I was like, man, I don't want to drink beer. So I turned around and looked at the wine, and I was like, well, this one has a cool looking bottle. You know, maybe I'll get some of it. And then I just started thinking, dude, I'm not gonna waste $16 on a bottle of wine I'm not gonna drink. This is fucking ridiculous. I could go over to the vape shop and buy some Canthol or something, you know.
Yeah, my wife bought a 12-pack of Angry Orchids or Orchid or whatever they call it, at Apple Beer, whatever, today. And I'm like, maybe I'll have a few of them and just kind of be buzzed on the show. And I'm like, I don't think, I might get a hangover. Fuck that.
I got shit to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Hank,
Go ahead.
why did you get into reviews? I know you and Heathen probably talked about it, but I missed that part.
Yeah. Well, basically the whole reason I started, which I actually didn't say why I started. I started because I watched a shit ton of reviews, and it just looked like something that I could do. And I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna wing it. And that's pretty much what I did. It's pretty much what I still do. It's just wing it. But after I started doing it, I just really enjoyed it. I don't know why. I don't know why I enjoy talking to a camera. I don't know why I enjoy all the behind-the-scene work that goes into it. But like Mark was saying too, I really enjoy the interaction with the people that watch me. And it's always been in my nature. I'm a helper. I've always been a helper. Everything I do, I always try to help. And
Yeah.
If I can help somebody, then it just makes you feel good, you know?
Most definitely.
And you're like, well, how long you been doing reviews for?
Me?
Yeah.
Almost a year, I guess.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
what I like about your channel, like, you do really quality reviews, and it's something you don't see like pop out lately. Like,
No.
you do really, really quality good reviews. Like, it looks like you spend a lot of time on doing your videos.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to make them as best I can.
Yeah.
It seems like lately they've been not going so well for me. The last few I've put out, I've just been like, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah,
Right.
there's some days you just don't like it. You just
Man, I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting in front of that camera, and my son, you know, they've been out of school, so I kind of taught him how to focus the camera in, and you know, how to hit the record button. That way I could sit in my chair and, you know, get prepared, you know, kind of think of what I'm gonna say. And so he'll tell you real quick, he's my producer, and he really is. And I get him, you know, he'll stand behind the camera, so I feel like I'm talking to somebody and not to the camera. And I think if you watch some of my earlier videos when it's just me going, I think, you know, in this, well, you know, well, and all that kind of shit. And now it's like there's an honest interaction there because I'm actually talking to somebody. You know, my son's back there. He's only 9 and he doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. You know, but he stands back there and he looks at me and he's like, "Good job, Daddy. Good job." And it's like, okay, that was good. Yeah, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been like, okay, cut it off. We're just gonna scrap this shit for the day. I'm going to sit on the couch.
I've done that before where I get halfway through a review and I'm just like, camera's still rolling. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I just throw everything down. Fuck this.
Walk out of the room and turn the TV on or something. Yep, I'm the same way. Like I've actually recorded a whole video once and I've deleted it before I've even put it up because I didn't like it.
Yeah. I would put out more reviews than I do if I had a place. Like, it looks like I have a place, but really, I mean, some of you know this, but this is my living room. I'm in a fucking corner in my living room, and I don't have a basement, I don't have a man cave, I don't have an office. So if my family is home and awake, I can't film. Because my kids won't be quiet. My wife won't be quiet, and she'll be like asking me to do favors. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm filming. I need you to do this for me. So
Yeah.
I have to wait till like the weekends when they go out and go do whatever they're doing. If I'm home alone, and I'll try to knock out like 5, or I'll try to stay up late and knock out a couple of reviews. But that puts a toll on you too, staying up late and then having to get up and go to work.
Yeah. I'm the same way. If I break out the camera, I want to do at least 2, you know, and I feel like if I shoot for 2, one of them's not going to suck more than the other one, so I'll get 1 out of 2 reviews, you know, so, and then say I'm reviewing the Sigelli 150 and the XE box. If the Sigelli 150 comes out like garbage, well, I can just throw the XE box up, you know, and I'll move the Sigelli to the next day. But now that my kids are back in school, I actually have time where I can sit down and kind of work on stuff. And I have a really bad problem with, I think while I'm evaluating all of these different things, there's a bunch of stuff that I think that I don't write down that I probably should, but I don't want it to feel scripted, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, a lot of people told me I should start writing shit down, but the only thing I can't do it. I can't, because I think if I start doing that, it's going to get really boring. The only thing I write down is specs, because I can't remember all the specs and all this shit. So when I go through the specs, I write that down, but everything else, like, I think if I scripted it or wrote it down, it would just, I don't know, it would take the fun out of it.
The only thing I write down is price, so I can remember how much it is if it's something I didn't buy. Other than that, I don't take notes because I found myself, I don't flow, you know. I stop and I'm looking at my notes and I'm trying to go in order.
Yep.
I just can't.
Exactly.
Personally, I just can't do that. So I just started with a method, and that's I'll take a device and I'll go top to bottom and then side to side on it.
Yeah, that's the same method I use actually too.
Yeah. So hopefully, doing it that way, I'm not going to miss anything. Sometimes I still do, but
yeah, sometimes I'll miss like the most like, or at least in my earlier videos, I would miss like the most like important thing, like the switch or something like that. I noticed like in my really earlier videos, then I go back and watch the video. I'm like, how the hell did I miss the switch? Holy shit!
Or sometimes I will not point out something because it's blatantly obvious, like you can fucking see it, and then people get so mad. Why didn't you point this out? I'm like, well, I figured you would see it. Sorry.
That's the exact reason why I point everything out.
Yeah.
Because there's those certain people that will say something all the time. Like I'll point out the damn color of the fucking O-ring. Like, hey, I'm colorblind. Why didn't you tell you what color the O-ring was? I mentioned it, buddy. It's red.
Yeah, I guess you don't need to know.
You're colorblind. Does it matter what color it is?
Yeah, exactly. They're purple.
There's people out there that just like analyze videos just to try to find something wrong with them, and then they'll comment on it, you know, the part that you fucked up or what you're missing. That's like your job.
Yeah. I get that. There's people that they just want to be the ones to prove you wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Make sure they point out that you missed something. I'm like, okay. Thanks for showing me.
That's why I do my best just to include everything, even the stupid shit. And then I'll have people that comment like, oh, you know, you didn't have to talk about this. It's obvious, dumbass. I'm like, well, you know, I just wanted to include it anyways. And when I do like a sub-ohm tank review, I always tell people how to fill it. Like prime the coil head, and people like no shit, we know how to put the tank together, how to fill it or whatever. And I'm like, well, some people don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of the times I'm not making the fucking videos for the people that know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this video for people who don't know what they're doing.
Like, you don't think I get tired of telling you guys how to fill a fucking sub tank? Of course, it's obvious. I mean, you flip it upside down, and some people just don't know that. So,
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we normally try to keep this at about an hour. Sometimes we go a little over, like tonight, which is fine. But we've been a little off topic, so I think now might be a good time to cut it off. You guys have anything you want to say before we go?
no, I appreciate you guys letting me come on the show, though.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know next time you need somebody. I'm available.
Will do. Very glad to have both of you on. Everybody watching, if you haven't checked out Heavy Metal Vapor yet, go do so. He's got a great presence on camera, I think. I enjoy watching his shit. So, and he's really cool to hang out with on G-Spot.
He is fun to watch. He is very fun to watch.
Same goes for Mark. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yep, Mr. Fagan.
My videos are boring, but Andrew's videos are fun to watch. He gets cocky and shit.
I try, man. I try.
All right, guys. Let's end it with a goodbye, Cloud.
All right.